Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. So, as I told everybody on Wednesday, we've got Lotto Friday. What makes today an extra special Lotto Friday? Well, we have a shortened week, we have a shortened day. We're coming off of a one-day holiday. Volume on the SPY was extremely light yesterday. So, here's what's happening around the world, okay? You've got the Hang Seng in China off 0.5%. Here's what else is going on. China, COVID cases spiking to an all-time high, okay? China made their borrowing rate for people that want to borrow money, they reduced it by 25 basis points. So they're trying to put stimulus into the Chinese market as they're shutting things down. 9 million more people are in quarantine. The Apple plant in China, another protest, another disruption. And now Apple's saying that I think it was their Fox something plant. They're not going to get 30% of their iPhones delivered by the end of the year. What else is happening? Oh, shoot. China. If you're watching the World Cup in China, here's the catch. You can't see any of the audience, meaning they blur out all the spectators because the spectators are not wearing masks. And in China, you must wear a mask. What else is going on? Oh, China Disney, fully opened. Okay, so they're locking down different cities. They're locking down industrial cities, but China Disney, China Shanghai happens to be fully opened. Other issues around the world today, right? Amazon, 40 countries have scheduled strikes for Amazon to improve conditions and things of that nature. Tesla recall 60,000 vehicles. You don't think that's something? Okay, Ford recall worldwide 643,000 vehicles. A little more substantial. Okay, again, Apple, China clash, protesters clashing with the government, 30% iPhone production less in Q4. That's what we're assuming. Let's go to the SPY from Wednesday. 3.5-point SPY range. Very narrow inside day. Right before that on Tuesday, what happened? We broke through the 398 supply zone going higher. So yeah, it's a narrow inside day on the SPY. So what am I expecting today? That's good. So again, low volume, definitely. Why? Most of Wall Street is probably still in the Hamptons. They're probably still away on their Thanksgiving holiday. So I'm expecting knee-jerk movements in the market today, which is why I think today is extra special for a lottery day. And we're going to talk about that. So if you have any stocks you want to mention, bring them up and I will bring them up on Discord and I will show you where big money is playing and where there may be opportunity. It's not all about me telling you, here's what I'm doing today. Share what you're thinking and let's analyze it together. Let's improve your trading skills, okay? So I'm expecting knee-jerk, big up movements, big down movements. Again, we broke the 398. So we're going to talk about SPY levels shortly, but let's get into the lotto plays and the scenario, okay? First off, with a lottery play, first and foremost, entry is most important. Just because you're discussing, hey, I'm going to do a lottery, today's Friday, half day, light volume, there should be some extreme volatility and some good movement. It doesn't mean you have to get in at 9:30 in the morning. In fact, the best lottery play today, without even telling you what it's going to be, because I'm not sure yet, would probably be something that you enter around 10:50 to 11 a.m. and you would probably sell it prior to the close. So it's probably like an hour and a half play, maybe like 10:50 or 10:50. And then you might be out by like noon. All right. Because I'm expecting, again, some choppiness. So today is not a day where you're like, I'm going to lotto first thing and hold throughout the day because something's going to continue to drop. What we're likely to see is huge movements. Drop. Okay. It dropped heavy. Dropped a little more. Oh, spike right back up. Oh, shit, dropped again. So look for huge movements today. I'm going to show you my scenarios because on a shortened day, I'm expecting things to move twice as fast. So again, I'm going to talk about the SPY ranges, but give me 1 second because here's what you have to do. When you're planning a day, you have to understand you're coming up with different scenarios. So hopefully you can see it. I'm going to focus right here, okay? Within 9:30, the first 15 minutes of the day. Here's the scenario, okay? This would be bearish. What we're likely to see is a little spike up at open, a flat line until we see a sell-off. So at this point, that would be a great entry if this is the scenario you're going to run. Next, scenario B, Also, bearish. We see a little spike, dip, spike, dip, spike, dip. We see stairs lower. Again, if that's what you acknowledge in the market, because you have to have a couple different scenarios to play out, then entry point could be here or here. Let's go to another scenario. This is both bullish and bearish. What do we see? We saw a little spike and open, a dip, then we spike up good. This reminds me of kind of what we saw on Wednesday, right? It looked like the market was just strong, strong, strong. Then we saw a huge sell-off, little rebounds, and a sell-off. Again, if you're going to play this scenario, you could be bullish right here, or say you missed this and it's like, okay, 10:50 a.m. and you're like, I'm going to be bearish for the last 2.5 hours of the day. Great, that's the scenario you're playing. Anywhere in between is no man's land, and that's not a lottery play. All right, and the last scenario is, okay, spike up, dip, dip. Okay, we consolidate at the bottom, we find some support. After we bottom once, we bottom again, and you say, okay, and this is history, it kind of repeats itself. So you'd say on the second dip, I'm going to go bullish. Why? Because if you zone out and zoom out on the market, we've seen bullish movement. Now, again, volume was extremely light last week or the beginning of this week, so I don't put too much into it. I still think, and this is me zooming out, and I'm not saying it's happening today, but talking about the SPY, I still think we have to go back and test the level at 398. That was a major resistance level for a full week while the market consolidated. Now, when the market decided to break higher, which I predicted earlier in the week, right? Nailed that one, got that one right. What do? We went right through the 398 level like it was nothing. It's been a supply zone, so generally it resists at that level. So what am I thinking? I'm thinking that same level has to turn into support, which it has, but we haven't retested it. So again, zooming out, me saying, okay, there might be a Christmas Santa rally. I still think whether it's today, Monday, or Tuesday, we're going to revisit that 398 level. Now, when you look at certain stocks, and again, I was looking at Disney. I'm just going to show you what I was looking at Disney or why as far as, okay, so here's what you see for Disney. And again, it's just easier to pull it up this way. Again, if you look at the lines on this side, you'll see outflow when they announced the new CEO, even though the stock moved higher. Again, outflow, and then you see a finally day of inflow, which was Wednesday. Now, again, if they start selling Disney today, it can go back down to the $92 level. Again, if the market's going to test 398, Disney's going to go from $99 where it is pre-market back to the $92 level. So that's a 7 or 8% move. Again, I expect choppiness. I'm not saying Disney's the play today, but if Disney has inflow today, I can see Disney going up 3 points. If Disney has outflow today, I can see Disney dropping 3 points. So that is probably going to be my lottery play of the day. I'm looking at Disney. There are a couple of stocks that I'm looking at, but Disney stuck out to me. Why? Because I looked at some of the larger flow. Let me see if I can pull up Discord real quick. All right, so this part of Discord. Okay, let's start with this real quick. If you see this posting right here, put call ratio is at the highest level since 1997. So we're talking about over 25 years, all right? In 25 years' time, we haven't seen put call ratio at this level, which is probably a sign of hedging, meaning institutions are riding these stock positions higher. However, they're buying puts on the stock to safeguard themselves in case there's a sell-off. So talking about today, volume is going to be light. I don't expect any massive movements. I expect spikes and dips, but I expect the SPY to trade within a 3-point range. Maybe something where like 450 cents on the bottom line and maybe $403.50 on the top line. Something like that, please, just going up and down. Next, Romeo will be doing a live stream today before I talk about my lottos when we go back to Discord. If you're on our Discord, first of all, there should be a link underneath. You get 7 free trial days. But Romeo has been on fire, goes on at 9:15 in the morning, and he's talking about what he's looking at pre-market right before the market opens. The market will open with you. He'll usually jump into 1 or 2 positions, and then he'll secure profit 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%. He loves to talk a good game. Okay, we're up 80%. Time to secure profit. He lets people know. The live stream generally goes for an hour's time. So if you're not on our Discord, it's a good time to join. Okay, so let's go back to Discord. Let's pull it up and let's talk about exactly what kind of lottos I'm looking at today. And again, So I'm going to go over to the Flow and Algos room. I'm going to scroll down because I did a bunch of searches. I looked at Disney. I looked towards the end of the day. So these are 3 o'clock on what was being bought or sold. And put contracts were across the realm. Again, they went out to January. So we're not looking for instant gratification here. But if you look at the largest premiums, they are all bearish. They are all negative. You're talking about a few $1 million. Okay. Then I go up and I was also looking at AMD because where was the support at AMD? So I said, okay, the true support at AMD is $73.73 where there's big dark pool level. So if AMD, if the market has a bad day, then technically AMD could go down to, $74. Now, if it's at, where is that this morning? Let's just see AMD. It's also on my list. You have to have a number of stocks on your list when you're talking about that. All right, 76.40. It's up a little pre-market. Let me just get rid of this so you can see what's on my phone. So what I'm looking at. So again, this is AMD. Spiked pretty hard. We gapped up from that range of $62 all the way to $76 within a week or a little more of trading. There was outflow at the top end. We're back at the top end. There's light volume. So AMD is on my radar for today for a lottery play. Again, AMD falls in the same category of Disney. If I think the market is going to be bought up today, and again, short day in the market, I think we're trading about 4.5 hours, but I'm going to use the first 30 minutes to analyze. If I think AMD and Disney are being bought up, then I'm going to wait for the best dip in the next hour after that because entry is most important. And then I'm going to buy calls. If I think the market is getting sold off today, and I mentioned one of my trackers last week, XLI, which is the industrials, if I think the market is going to get sold off today, then I'm going to wait for the morning spike. Again, I showed you the scenarios that I expected, but I'm going to wait for Disney and AMD to spike. If there's one spike, I'm not going to say, okay, that's the top. I need to see some resistance. Once I see some resistance, I'm going to go, okay, those are my lotto puts. And again, when you enter a position and you're calling it a lotto, you need to make sure you're calling the bottom or the top or as close to it, because lottery means you don't have any time to be wrong. So if you're calling the top and your stock spikes higher and it's a lotto play, you're down 50%. So please understand the risk. And when I enter into a lotto play, and I'll talk about my last lottery play, was on Tuesday. I entered into some Palantir calls at $7, and I think I paid 20 cents. Then yesterday morning, I bought some more at 19 and 20 cents. It went as high as 41 cents. So it completely doubled as a lottery. However, I took 35 to 40%. I sold at 27.28 yesterday, Wednesday morning, because I didn't want to ride the elevator. It went from 20 to 35, back down to 20, back up to 40. Again, I don't ride the elevator. I get in and I get out. When you enter a lotto play or an option that doesn't have very much time, you have to understand you can't be a watcher. You can't have your looking goggles on and being like, oh, Jew, I'm up like 80%, I'm up 70%. Because if it's a lotto play, that turns really quickly, especially if you're playing the SPY or something with quick movement, your position can deteriorate like that. That's why you plan ahead. Oh, yeah, my lotto play, again, from Wednesday, I was in some SPY, 0 days till expiration puts. I was doing so when the market was going 402.50 and looking up in the morning. I think I paid $1.05 for my puts. What happened? In the next 20 minutes, they went down by 25%. They went as low as $79 before the market dropped, and my puts spiked all the way up to $280 per contract. Again, in at 105, spiked to 280. What did I get? I got $235 a contract because as it was going down and it was in the $79, $80, 85 range, I was like, okay, figure out my exit. If I'm correct, I should see at least $2.35 a contract. It doesn't mean I secured the 280. And if I had waited and just watched, I probably would have done better. But again, I was busy on Wednesday, day before Thanksgiving. I was looking at apartments. I said to myself, I'm in at 105. I'm going to be out at 235. That was the strategy, and it executed. Okay. So that's what lottos do. Okay. You have to understand you could be off 25%, up 50%. You better know how you plan to exit whatever trade it is. Again, for me today, so here's the catch or how I'm analyzing the market today, okay? Told you I'm looking at Disney and AMD as lottos. If the market's also strong, I might look at AMC. AMC's had some heavy buying. So either bullish or bearish, I think AMC could have some good movement. Now, my problem today is I've got to look at apartments again today. So I'm gone from 11:30 probably till after the market closes. So my strategy has to be, okay, I'm looking for a severe dip or a severe spike, and then I'm looking to counter that. And I'm looking to get in and out. And my strategy says on normal lottery plays, I'm looking for 100%, but I'd rather be safe today. So I might go a little larger and I might look for 20 or 25%. Instead of a $1,000 lotto play, I might do a $4,000 lotto play. Instead of 100%, I might look for 20 or 25%. Secure the $1,000, call it a day, call it a week. Watch the U.S. beat England. Probably not going to happen. But the good news is the U.S. only has to win one of the next two matches, either England or Iran. Okay? Simple as that. All right, let's see what kind of questions we have today, because I mentioned, please mention some of your stocks that you want us to look up if you have some stocks. So yes, Tesla and Amazon. Okay, so here's the interesting thing about Tesla, and we'll start with Tesla and then we'll go into Amazon. Tesla, 3 days ago, I mentioned the forward PE was $40 at $168 was great entry for Tesla. I mentioned it on 2 straight episodes. In fact, all the way up to 170 when it was 173, I said it would come back to 170. And then again, I think Tesla exploded yesterday. Let me just see. Tesla, yeah, low yesterday, 172.50. Great entry. As you can see, inflow for 2 straight days. What happened? So all these companies are going to follow the same pattern. If Tesla goes up, I would rather be playing Rivian or Lucid, okay? If Tesla goes down, those stocks are going to get hit hard. Tesla does have demand. EVs, the talk, again, right now everybody's talking EVs and conversions and things of that nature. So Tesla does have some demand. I would stay away. Unless you follow Tesla like family, Tesla is one of those stocks or option plays. You don't just jump in and jump out. If you're looking to play Tesla, here's what I would do actually. And let's focus on Tesla. Let's go back to Discord. Let's go back, go to the bottom here. Let's type in a new search because we'll do Tesla, okay? So first thing I want to see about Tesla is the dark pool level. So DP levels, and I'll do Tesla. And make sure you guys are seeing this with me. Let's make sure it's on StreamYard. It is perfect. So let's go back. All right, Tesla, dark pool level, massive level at 192.12. So again, let's just see where Tesla is right now. 185 pre-market, 186. So we'll look, there's a dark pool level right at 186. So, I mean, if Tesla breaks this level, I would look for it to reject 192. So again, I would think Tesla's 192 on the top. If I was going to get into any position, I would be buying puts around 192. Other than that, you have dark pool 180, 186. We're in between those levels. So that would be my thoughts with Tesla. I would look at maybe the algo flow, Tesla. This tells you where the stock price is in accordance to the algorithm. So the stock price, you could see, is in light yellow here. So the stock price is at a high. The algo is telling you the price looks bullish, but it should be a little lower. So again, that's not really telling me all that much. What I like to look for is bullish or bearish divergence. So I'll quickly explain. When you look at something and the stock price is up here and the algorithms tell you the stock price should be down here, that's called bearish divergence because they'll generally meet up at a lower level. If the algorithms are telling you the stock price should be up here, it's like up here, people are buying calls, stock price should be up here, stock price is really here, that's called bullish divergence, and generally the stock price will come up and meet that. For Tesla, I see none of that. So let me bring up, let's see if we can find some bullish or bearish divergence. I think I wanted to look at AMD. I think I noticed something about AMD the other day. So let's look at the algo flow and let's check out AMD. And again, if you guys want me to check your stocks, mention it. Okay, so here we go. Here's what I saw the other day. What can you see? This huge red line dropped here, right? The price is still okay. The price is in yellow and the price looks like it's going higher. Oh, look, $76.50. Where is the algorithm telling you? Not only did it drop significantly from being up here, $78 to 76, but it's dropped even lower. So yes, that is one of the reasons. Hopefully everybody saw that, but that is one of the reasons that AMD is on my list as a potential lottery play for today. And if I want to play it, if I was going to be bearish AMD, I would go out probably the next Friday to be safe. You don't have to enter a lottery play just because today is Friday. But if I see AMD spike up and I'm like, okay, I think the market's a little overvalued, that'll be a quick play. 20, 25%, $1,000. Lock it down, move on. Safer play. Go out to next Friday. Why? Because I already showed you when I pulled it up. Here it is. The red line is the algo. The algo says it should be closer to $75.50, whereas the price is a whole dollar higher. So I might wait for the price to go to 77 today. If the price went to 77 and the algo is still telling me it should be 75, that would be a time for me to enter. Let's see. Let's also check out, you can check out the net. So TR, let's check out the net flow for AMD. Let's see where most of the big money is. Again, let it pop up, targeting the net flow. Okay, so again, something else that matches what I'm talking about. As you can see, what do you notice? The price of puts, which is in red, so it's your premium Frankfurt, it's going through the roof. The price of calls, it's coming down a little. Maybe there's a trickle higher as the price goes higher. But what's likely to happen is this green line's likely to drop probably to here, okay? The red line will probably stay consistent, and the stock price will likely drop. I mean, it's had a good 76 for a while here. So if you break 76, again, AMD to the downside has support at $73.88. So let's say AMD spikes this morning off open, and I showed you guys my scenarios before. Let me just pull them up for everybody that missed it. Again, I have different scenarios each day for the market. So here are potential scenarios. Here's what we can see. What is it? A spike at open, then a dip. We can see spike, spike, spike for the good part of the morning. Then maybe at 10 o'clock, we see a dip followed by another dip. Again, there's no rush. When you're playing lotteries, it's all about entry. So I don't care if you set aside $1,000. You're like, oh, it's $25 a contract. I'm going to buy 40 contracts because it matches my $1,000. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. The smartest thing I ever heard is make sure 40 cents is the lowest, because if it goes to 36 cents and you only bought 2 contracts at 40, shoot, you could buy 2 more at 36. And then if it drops to if it drops from 25 to like 20 cents to 18 cents from 25 cents, 7 cents off, you're going to be off 30%. Imagine a lottery play that you get in just because you want to spend your $1,000 and get in the morning, and it makes sense because it's $25 and it's 40 contracts, $1,000, and then you look and it's $18 and you still have 40 contracts, and now your valuation is under $800, and it's a lottery play, and now your valuation dropped to $600. Wouldn't it be so much to get in at the cheaper valuation? Oh, the options I was going to enter, which were 20 cents and 18 cents and 25 cents, are now 15 cents. Well, shoot, I'll pay 15 cents. I can now buy 60 of them. So you're increasing your position by 50%. So yes, it's a lottery play. You're planning on being somewhat dangerous today or something to that extent. However, it's all about entry. You know, somebody made a comment to me over the weekend, and hopefully I'll post it somewhere, but they basically said, I wish I found it. Let me just see if I can find this. Okay. Hey, brother, I'm not missing your stuff. Your SPY analyst, why simple, has been spot on. Your advice to slow down and pick entry is a game changer. It's not so much how much money I've made, it's how much money I haven't lost in the past few weeks. And my account is smiling once again. Keep up the good work, man. We appreciate it. So the point of that post is not that I'm calling the SPY accurately. It's he's taking a more patient, a less rushed approach, and he's picking better entries, and he might not be killing it, okay? But he's not losing money. So if you guys are killing it, congratulations. If you're losing money, you have to analyze what you're doing and say to yourself, oh, shoot, well, am I doing something wrong? All right, I saw we have a question on Apple. All right, thoughts on holding an option that's down 40% with some time, or just selling 25% and rebuying? Okay, so that's a great question. Say you have a position. Let's say it goes out another month, another 4 weeks. You're down 40%. 2 ways to look at it. Will I average down? If I think my strategy is going to be correct, if I'm looking at the chart and I say to myself, now I understand why it's down, but literally 3 weeks from now, it's probably going to be at the $52 level or wherever it is, higher than it is. If I see it and the chart makes sense to me, then yes, I will average down. However, if the chart looks like, remember how Meta used to look, or other stocks, a falling knife, where each morning the stock opens down another 2% before you can even trade it. Stock opens down 2%, nothing you can do. I'm going to hold it for tomorrow. Stock opens down another 2%. No, then I wouldn't average down, because you're catching a falling knife. Every day you look at it, it gets worse and worse, and the chart makes sense. So again, you can average down if you have enough time, and if you understand why the chart is down. Okay. Let's see if we have another question. Yeah. See, you're talking about ATVI. I'm assuming it's a biotech company. Biotech companies are risky investments for stock only. They're risky investments for options only. I'm just going to make sure this is a biotech company, but it definitely sounds like one. It sounds like one I might have even traded in the past. ATVAI. And then news. Oh, Activision Blizzard. Oh, definitely not a biotech company. Okay. If Activision Blizzard, what they did is they went to court and they told Microsoft they want to stop the Microsoft takeover of Activision Blizzard. I think they were getting a few $1 billion. Market cap on the stock, 60 billion. I think that was probably what the deal was worth, something around there. Maybe it was a little more, 65. I think maybe rings a bell. Yeah. I mean, I would assume that it's going back up to $76. However, if today's a red day in the market and they started selling this off, then yeah, you can see it a little less. I don't like to play around. I call this arbitrage. If I'm going to buy a stock for $10 a share and the stock is $8 a share, it's $8 a share for a reason. I'm not an arbitrage person. If I did all the research, I would be like the true valuation of Activision is $77. So the fact that it's $74 pre-market, yes, buy. That's not me. I'm not an arbitrage person. You have to be extremely good at math, which I am, but you have to have all the data and information. If you're just looking at a chart going, geez, it just dropped pre-market. Can I buy Activision Blizzard off this news? Who the heck knows? There are people that arbitrage that have hundreds of millions of dollars that look for a few percent off move based on some news or some news occurrence, and they take advantage of that. So I would stay away from Activision Blizzard. Okay, Palo Alto, right? That's what this one is, I think. PANW. Yeah, Palo Alto, defense, internet defense kind of company. Again, here's what I see when I see Palo Alto, okay? The last three lines on this side, okay? You can see volume is extremely low, and the larger line 4 days back is a sell-off based on earnings. So what would I think? I wouldn't trust this one. It falls in the same range as a Disney. I don't really trust Disney right now. Yeah, Disney can go north, but at some point it's going to roll over. Same with Palo Alto. Earnings came in, small time buying, 4 straight days, light volume. Looks like it's going to rebound. Everybody knows, oh, look, it rebounded, it cratered, something like that. And then what do you see? Same thing we saw with Google and Amazon after they reported. A few days later, it was worse. So yes, I expect that from Disney. I expect it from Palo Alto. I would rather be about in a different type of tech security company rather than something that big, because that one can move. Let's see what other companies we have here. Is retail a better buy this time of year? Gap, Columbia, American Eagle, do they move enough to make profit? You're probably a little late to the retail rotation. There has been a retail rotation before earnings came in, and I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Gap, let's just look at Gap because it probably sold off after it bounced higher. Gap is not a very well-run company. So you really have to look at it industry specific. Okay, so Gap is up. You've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 out of the last 12 days inflow on Gap. So yeah, Gap is a bargain at $12. At under $15 where it is now, I would stay the heck away. You're talking about a 25% move. Literally in the last month, Gap is up 43%. So if you're following a stock and it's up 43% in the past month and it's not a well-run company like the Gap, I would be extremely cautious. The Gap is not well run. I don't know how Columbia and American Eagle are, but I assume American Eagle, the way they promote themselves, probably run the same way as Gap. So again, extremely cautious there. See, we got one more question here. I think someone's asking about pins. There we go. So what's up, Team Cheek, man? So pins, very interesting stock because pins has support from an outside influence. I think it's Elliott Capital Investment. They have a stake in pins. So they're pushing it higher, whereas other institutions I saw were selling off. So I mentioned that it usually rejects around $25.50. That time I mentioned that, where did it go? 26.5. At 26.5, it rejected, went back to 22. So again, it's like the entry to Gap. You can be in Gap if you get in at $10, $11. You can't be in Gap at 15. At pins, if you want to be bullish on pins, you can get in pins at like, I think $22.5, $23, and you can ride it up to 26. At 25.03, and it's probably up pre-market. Oh, it's right around 25.03. At 25.03, I wouldn't be bullish because I could easily see it going back to 22. Similar to other companies. If you're going to see companies like pins get beat up and lose a couple percent, the whole market's going to go down. But I'd rather take advantage of it using companies like Upstart or Affirm or Roblox, companies that are more spec plays that don't really have the earnings. They will move just like a Pins. Pins might do a little better because it's Pinterest, Snap, Meta. They all seem to have bottomed. Anyway, so let's keep going. See a question about Tesla right here. So we'll show that one real quick. And then it's a follow-up question. So do I think Tesla's going to hit 150 or 130 next month? A lot of analysts are predicting this. All right. So first off, analysts, people that give out their predictions, they're all full of shit. All right. They're all paid to give you. And it's the guy at JP Morgan said the market was going down and it went up in June. We rallied. The same thing happened in September. He warned, market could go down 20%. And what happened? We went up. So yeah, I don't believe analysts. I'd rather see the movement in Tesla. So again, Tesla looks like a Disney, looks like a couple other companies that have been sold off substantially. And then they finally see 2 days of buying. Now understand, from Tesla to go from 168 to 185, and people are like, it should go back to 214, you would need to see like 5 or 6 or 7 straight days of buying. That's not going to happen. So what's more likely to happen? Choppiness. However, if the SPY and the S&P go up, there's no way Tesla's going down. So you have to say to yourself, okay, the market has to go back into its bear cycle. If it goes into its bear cycle, then yes, Tesla could easily go under 150. However, a lot of analysts are saying Tesla's cheap now. So I'm not sure the ones that are saying 150, 130. I'm not a buyer of analysts. Again, I would rather wait and see if there's inflow today. If there's inflow in Tesla, I'll know it by 10 a.m. You could tell by 10 a.m. And if at 10 a.m., say Tesla's like even or something like that, and I can see inflow, it's likely to go higher. Same thing on an outflow day. That's why I'm watching Disney and AMD for my lottery plays. I thought you guys might say, hey, what do you think about this lottery play or that lottery play? If you have it, I know we're almost done, and Romeo's going to get started probably in about 13 minutes on our Discord. You could join for free for 7 days. So based on my recommendation, I recommend buying Tesla at 170. I was recommending Tesla at 168. At 168, you know what I would do today if I were in Tesla? Tesla at 168, I told you to get in. It's at 186 pre-market. What would I do if I was in at 168 2 days ago? Get out. I just made 10% in 2 days. 10% in 2 days for any stock would be amazing. I would get out. So when people say, what do you think about Tesla right now? I don't know. At 168, it was great. At 188 or 190, I'd be rejecting it. So at this level, at 183, 85, I'm on the sidelines. Again, if Tesla goes up, what I would do is I would go onto my Discord, and this was AMD. Remember the bearish divergence? And I would look at Tesla and I would say, okay, let's see where the dark pool levels are for Tesla. So I would say deep dark pool with DP levels, and then I would say Tesla, and then I would say, okay, this will tell me a little about where they potentially could be selling Tesla. So here's a huge level right at 192. So I would say, okay, if Tesla wants to be bullish today, I might get into Tesla puts at 192, 193 in that level because there's a huge dark pool level. All right, let's see. We got a minimum high speed today. Debt spreads. Debt spreads or credit spreads. You could do credit or debit spreads. Either theta will be high today. So again, whereas I'm looking for lottery plays, some of you like to sell the options. Some of you say, okay, I'm going to sell an AMD call at 77 because I don't think it's going past that. Or I'm going to say I'm going to sell a Tesla 200 call because I don't think it's going to 200. And if the market spikes, I'll get a couple of dollars or a couple $100 for my Tesla calls that I'm going to sell. But I don't think it's happening because I think Tesla has 2 levels that I would have to break through. So yeah, a lot of people like to sell calls and puts. A lot of people will try spreads. They'll buy one, they'll sell one a little higher, vice versa. So they're making the credit spreads or the debit spreads. So that's a good strategy. Again, if you have your own strategy, wonderful. Everybody else, welcome to join me on Discord, and Romeo will be going live in about 10, 11 minutes. That's how I plan to open the market.